Alright, Jake Phelps here. This is a rundown on all the materials that will be needed for this little project we're going to go ahead and undertake. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick rundown on them all. You already saw the coins. That's them right there, 30 grams worth. Then we got the nitric acid right there. That's what I use, the 69.5. Kind of showing my skills age by how dusty all this shit is. Alright, you need that right there to really hide oxy. Then I use this Bernzomatic TS4000. And then got my tumbler. It's a pretty decent one. Right there. There's the actual cylinder right there. Coffee filters. Two glass containers. This is what I use. A funnel. And again, this is for the whole entire process. This is for not only refining, but also pouring and stamping the final product. Then I've got my Crucible right here. Should be able to get a size comparison by these coins on some of this stuff. And I got my flux right here. I've got my silver mold right here. That makes a good, 20 to 25 gram bar. Like I kind of, I've been doing this for a while, and this mold right here, I can't remember what it was to begin with, but I dremeled it out a few times just to kind of give the silver a fresh surface so that it would pour a little bit better. But here's the size of this in comparison to these coins. Now I've got my stamp right here. I had this special made. When I first got into this, I put like a certain, it says 0.999 fine silver. I put like so many grams on the south side of it, as you can see, which actually would have been the top. But once I got into it, I realized it would it's a little bit harder to eyeball that. So I just went ahead and dremeled that off, or took it off there somehow. But this stamp, I paid a good bit of money for this stamp. Had specialty made. It's probably the most expensive thing I got. To tell you the truth. It's just that stupid thing. And then I've got the copper. The ever so important copper. And this is the second frame of this video I've made, so if there's anything I'm forgetting, I don't think there is, I'll go ahead and include it later. Alright, Jake Phelps here. This is shoot 3 of this silver refining video. 3 small details I forgot in the supplies list last time, actually 4, is this bowl, a spray bottle, and this turkey baster type thing right here. And also a kitchen sink. Nah, not really, but you know, sink and you know, kind of like a work area that's well ventilated. Um, that's what I've got here. I know everybody doesn't have that, but it comes in handy because see what I have here going on is I have a first I got everything warmed up, and then I've got a trickle of hot water going into this bowl, which in turn keeps the glass above it insulated. And for this chemical reaction to neutralize the copper and evaporate the silver into a liquid form, you're going to want to keep it you're going to want to keep the area in which the chemical reaction is taking place warm. You know, it's kind of like it needs to. It's got to be at least above 50 degrees. I mean, and that's too low. You know, the hotter you got it, the better. So I've got hot water going into that bowl, which in turn keeps this, which I'm going to go ahead and call my beaker, even though it's a ball glass, warm, and it'll keep the chemical process warm. So I'm going to go ahead and try to hold this phone with one hand and do the rest of the stuff with the other. Alright, first step, I'm going to put 3 ounces of water into my beaker here. Alright. Each one of these is going to be 1.5. I'm going to do this twice with water. First time. And second time. So now there's 3 ounces of water in there, hot water. And then what I'm going to need to do is go ahead, drop all my coins in there, my 30 grams worth. And then there's this part, which I'm going to go ahead and knock out fast because you have to be quick with this because it's dangerous as fuck. Because that shit, you know, puts off some bad shit that you do not want to breathe and that will not get you high. It will fucking kill you. Get my first 1.5 ounces in there. Hold your breath. Wash this out. And then get the fuck out of there. Alright, Jake Phelps here. And now what I have going on is the silver that was in the liquid trading spots with the helix coiled piece of copper that I have dipping down into this glass. And it took me, I let it sit by itself in the other room for about 30 minutes. That's how long it took for for that reaction to take place. And then I went in there and I went ahead and filled this up with kind of warm water to kind of let the acid kind of dilute a little bit, try to calm it down a little bit. And then came in here and put it here, and then put that piece of helix coiled copper wire in there, kind of a thicker gauge. And now what's happening is I'm getting I'm getting a little bit of raw silver there at the bottom. And I was a little bit heavy on my acid, but that's alright. It wasn't too bad. See, that's my silver, my raw silver collecting right there. Jake Phelps here. Like I said before, I used a little bit too much acid. Um, it's been a while since I'd done this, so I'd forgotten the exact amount. So it's taken a little while longer for the for the for the for the nitric to calm down. But this is what this is what I got going on. That's all raw silver around the copper right there. See, that's all it right there. Just fell. I mean, it takes a while anyway for the reaction to take place correctly. You'll know when it stops collecting on the copper. That means it's done. Jake Phelps here. It doesn't really look like the acid isn't totally neutralized because it's still bubbling, but it's not. It's just kind of eating the copper. It's not really. It's not. It's not solidifying the silver into a raw silver concentrate. So I'm gonna go ahead and go on to the next step. So you want to be careful too that your wire is thick enough and you've got enough in there so that you're not so that the wire doesn't break, and then you got copper mixed in with your raw silver, because that would totally defeat the purpose. You gotta really kind of pay attention to what you're doing as far as that's concerned. Think about it a little bit. Alright, with this part, what I'm gonna do is alright, I got this coffee filter right here. What I'm gonna do, fold it in half, fold it again. So you got that. And then undo it and put it in here. so that it kind of goes in there, and you don't have a whole bunch of folds for your concentrate to get stuck into. There's something kind of like that. You gotta do a whole bunch of scientific cutting and whatever else. It's not rocket science. See, it's in the funnel. Now put that in the cup. I'm gonna do all this with one hand. Try to. And put that in there. See? And then start pouring this stuff. Get the top off of it, straighten it out a little bit. And this shit will make your fingers yellow, so you should probably wear gloves, but I don't know. Whatever. I usually use a smaller funnel than this, so it's a little easier to work with. Now with this part, kind of slosh it around. A little bit. Straighten that out. I'm using one hand here, so you gotta give me a little bit of slack. Dump that raw shit in there. And what I usually do when I have two hands is hold this like this and spray with my spray bottle at the same time so that it loosens it up and it just kind of drips right in there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Alright, Jake Phelps here. I went ahead and did that. Sprayed it out with this and held it upright. I couldn't do that with one hand. So, had to put you on hold for a second. And then now what I'm going to do is just kind of spray it down so it's flat on top. And that's that. And what I did here is I overfilled my my jar a little bit. That's alright. Just keep on spraying it down. Alright, then you got it like that. So then, alright, Jake Phelps here. And then what I did is I just kind of squeezed it. I folded it up at the top and just squeezed it to get the as much of the liquid out of it as I could. Alright. Instead of having to go through some drying process. That's my drying process. And then the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out of here and I'm going to put it in my crucible. And I'm going to finish drying it with that. Alright, Jake Phelps here. I finished up with the melting down the silver, the raw silver. It was all wet in there. I just dried it with a blowtorch and then melted it down. It takes a little bit of time when you do it like that, but I don't know, it just kind of quickens the whole process up. And then after I did that, I poured it in there, and it's not real easy. Chances are you might not be able to get something like that on your first pour like I did. Um, that's pretty nice. Hopefully, if I can stamp it correctly, I'm not even gonna need to. I'm not even gonna need to to tumble it because it didn't get any of the slag or anything on it. All right, Jake Phelps here in the last stage of this. That's what I've got. A beautiful piece of solid 0.999 fine silver. I'm getting ready to go ahead and stamp it. It's got this vise. It's got a real heavy steel. It's got a piece of cardboard. You can try to center it or whatever. However you want to do it. I kind of like it a little bit crooked. I think it looks neater. And that is a very crucial part as well. Because if you fuck that up, you gotta go remake the whole thing. And that's what I've got right there. 0.999 fine silver. Made out of some coins. Pretty cool. Alright, thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe. I need subscribers.